So does the HR lean more towards the management side or the employee side?
There has to be a balance, but to be very honest, HR works more with management. Basically because of the roles, because of the policies, because of the requirements of management. Because remember, this is an organization, and there is a particular way that the owners would like to see it running. So they will come and give you a projection on what they expect. So basically, you see, the HR will be liaising with management more than with the employees. The employees is feedback from management and feedback from employees and balancing in between. And now those are the things that I've talked there before, where you play different roles of a mother, father, and
everything else.
But the HR works very closely with management because it's the management that is at risk and the company. So if things are not done right, for example, if there are legal issues that need to be tackled well, and there are those statutory aspects that need to be done, and they're not done on time, then the company has a risk. So there are strategic plans that need to come on board. So there are appraisals that are done along the way. If they're not done right, then you have a very poor workforce. So now you see the HR will really have to work very closely with management so that these other aspects and strategies are met, so the organization does not fail. Yes.
Wow. Okay, so describe the day, your day as a HR.
It's quite a day.
Yes.
That is quite a day. I have never woken up to the same day.
It's different.
You know, when I was growing up, there were so many challenges in life.
Yes.
And I remember one time, my mom saying, there is no day that is same to the next day. Tunamkanga leo, there is sunshine, tomorrow it's cloudy, another day is raining. Another day is too hot. So she told me there is no day that is like the other. So you take pressures of the day one day at a time. And I can tell you there is no day that I've really woken up to the same day. Sometimes you wake up in the morning, there is an accident in the factory, and you might run around half the day.
Trying to
another day you might wake up, there's a workforce that just woke up and they just don't feel like working.
Like,
there's a day you'll wake up and there's a delegation coming in of high profile people. I've hosted quite a number. I really wait to host the president.
But it's coming.
I've hosted the governors. We have hosted ambassadors. We have hosted PSAs. We have hosted quite a delegation of people. Now, that is normally a very different day. So there is no day that runs like the other, but basically when you come in, you need to see the manpower, you need to see the workforce, you need to know who came in and who did not come in, what are the projections of production for the day, where are we at, how long are they going to run, what else is coming in, what is our future engagements. So I can say, I cannot really give you a day-to-day of my life.
Everything is different.
It's a different day every day. And there are days you wake up and you come in and the day is so boring.
There's nothing happening.
Very little to do. Yes.
It's a slow day.
And then there are days you don't sleep. There are days I've worked until 3 a.m.
What?
Yes. And there are days I've gone home in the morning.
Because of what? So it will be hard to describe that and put it into words. But at least you've given us a summary of what we're talking about here. So while studying HR, are there any refresher courses that you have to take, or do you just do your own research to keep up with the trends?
Yes, you do. You do need to do refresher courses. And I will say that it depends on your environment and the organization you're working for. If it is a marketing company, you really need to refresh your marketing skills because you'll be dealing with the sales reps every other day and the merchandisers. If you're working in a hospital, you need at least a little bit background of the medicals. And these are courses that you might need to take up every other day. For a normal HR, you might need to refresh also on your financial courses and also on psychology courses. These two small courses just to keep you running.
And sometimes,
if you feel you've done everything, you're a HR, you have done your master's. If you do a PhD, you'll not do HR. You need to walk out. Even the organization will kick you out. Because now you need to go to a board level. You need to have your own company, you know. Those are other levels. But those with diplomas, those with degrees, masters, they're those two small refresher courses, especially on how to deal with the human behavior down here. There are things you need to keep up so that your brain also keeps up. So you might just decide, let me go. That's why you find you do a diploma, you do higher diploma, then you go for your degree, you'll do your masters, then you might just need to come back and do bookkeeping. So you need to see the trend in the organization, and then depending on where you're working in, then you need to come down. Like I've attended quite a number of courses, especially on skills development. Yes.
So it's also important to find refresher courses and courses that will complement being a HR as well. So with the new changing era, there are a lot of courses that are being offered online. So with this HR course, would you advise someone to actually study it online?
Yes, you can. Universities are offering it online. So you can do a HR course online. We have ACHRP that are always advertising courses every other day. It's online. So why not? There are workshops that are done online. There are Zoom meetings done online. Join in, listen, so that you're also able to develop. Yes.
Wow, that is beautiful. So what are some of the challenges that you have encountered as a HR in the manufacturing industry?
The manufacturing industry is very interesting. One, depending on the organization, you find sometimes you have got very unskilled workers. And so sometimes communication becomes a barrier. Like, for example, in a textile industry, just a fundi, you know, an operator, a tailor. You need to just teach the government and stitch it correctly. So you might find that this person either dropped out of school or is a TVET. Even TVET is better because now so there's some education. But we have those people who just knew how to stitch. There are those ones who came looking for a job and there was an opportunity and they trained in-house. But you might find the educational level is very low. And it was only recently that we decided to have a cutoff. But before then, we had those ones who have come and they have worked for a long time. So some of them can't write English, others can't understand English, so you have to communicate in Swahili. So when you do your memos, you have to do them in English and Kiswahili.
So
when you do your talks, you need to balance the two languages. That is quite
hectic.
A challenge. Then retaining them. Because you find they jump from one industry to another one, maybe as long as I'm skilled, especially in the apparel. And also maybe hospitality, the hotels. Because now you can jump to the next hotel, you can go to the next factory and stitch. So sometimes retaining them is quite a challenge. Sometimes also you find the dynamics of an industry. In a manufacturing industry, accidents, sometimes managing them is very hard. It's only the last 1 year, I think, that I've had quite a peaceful year. We only have cuts and bruises. But you really have to manage accidents in a manufacturing industry. And sometimes they are fatal.
And you have to handle them.
Yes. Mtu anaenda, there is a very clear notice, do not put your hand. Then they decide to put their hand to find out why you should not put your hand.
Why should you not do it?
Do not touch, it's a hot surface. And they decide to touch to understand why it is.
How hot is it?
And then they get burnt. Now, the worst part is that now that becomes the employer's responsibility. So we do have these challenges of ages. Kuna wazee. We have the elderly, we have the teenagers, we have the young adults. It's a mixed age depending on what their capabilities. And so you find the older group don't like being told what to do.
They're old.
They're old and they will not acquire new skills. They're there.
Whatever we have is enough.
You'll find the young tags, the young age. Also, don't shout at me, don't scream at me. I'm gone. Like, only my mom is allowed to do that. I think they've watched too many soap operas and movies. Reality on the ground can never be that way. And so they're like, usiniambie.
The movie effects.
Badala ya kunishautia, siwache tu mimi niende.
So uniongelesha vizuri.
Yes.
Mimi sipigangu kelele, by the way.
So you find you lose a workforce when you are not prepared for it. And so now you have to get a replacement. It's a challenge. So we have all, and then we have technology that has kicked in, and the young ones are very happy with the technology.
Yeah.
The older ones are like, Msitusumbue.
Don't disturb us.
What is this now you're bringing? So yes, manufacturing, and then now the emerging trends and changes daily globally. For us to remain competitive, then we really need to retain a certain caliber and do things that will be very productive and efficient.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes you're unable to achieve this with that mixture.
With a lot happening. We have different age groups. Others are receptive, others don't want anything to do with it.
Others, it's psychological. Because some deal with machineries. If you find a mechanic, the way you deal with them is not the way you'll deal with another person who is just packing. A mechanic amezoea kusikia dong 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 dong. So their brain is used to hard stuff. So you have to knock it off. They are not easily shaken. The environment has shaped them.
Yeah.
So for you to get to, and then when you're too soft, it's like. And then the packing guy you shout is like, why are you shouting? Yes. So those are psychological issues that they get shaped around in the industry. Very challenging.
Wow. Yes. But you're still maneuvering through them. Yes. And you're good at your job. So being 20 years in the industry,
that's why I said experience here is
very important.
Very important. Because to understand how to deal with these various people. Mwingine ni kichwa ngumu, but they give you a good job. They do it at the end of the day. But ni kichwa ngumu. They're so hot-headed that you want to fire that guy every day. You wake up in the morning and say, I'm firing them.
Before they're even fired.
Then you fire them for a day, you realize they're nice one. Yes, madam. Yes. They give you low production, low efficiencies. So now balancing in between the two is quite a challenge.
Wow.
So you have to learn people and be able to accommodate them.
So what would you tell someone who wants to pursue HR as a course? Just talk to them at home and tell them more about being HR.
You need to have a passion for people. I think you need to do the big 5 tests.
Yeah.
You need to see your personality and then you venture into it. I have a son who I pushed to do HR.
Yeah.
Did it, finished and dumped it. It was not
just down the drain.
He dumped it.
Yeah.
And he had no passion for it at all. And he decided to venture into ICT, where he does amazingly.
It's very good. Switched. You did ICT.
I was like, well, I've done your thing. Now I've got to do my thing.
Yeah.
So, and he's very passionate about it and he's doing very well. So today I realized, well, I only gave him basics, but there was something that he was doing. So you need to have a passion.
Yeah.
You need to be a people person because if you're a HR and you're not a people person, well, the branding becomes worse. And you'll find that it will be a burden to you.
Yeah.
So one is to realize, who are you? Like the accountants, they're introverts. They rarely talk, you know. Yeah. They're very quiet people. It's numbers and numbers and numbers and numbers.
Yeah.
You know. We have engineers. They're very strict. They're people who are cholerics.
Yeah.
They kind of really work out their day in, day out. They're workaholics. So you need to see first your personality. Who are you? What is your passion? Before you venture into HR.
Yeah.
Because I can tell you, I met a very qualified HR who said in the next life should not want to be a HR.
Right.
You're bogged down by people's needs, by people's issues, by management's demands. It's actually a very heavy thing. I know there are days I've not slept. When you have something that is happening in the factory and you know you need to strike a balance between the employee and management, it's a hard thing. If you're dealing with a strike, it's a hard thing because sometimes it's two hands clap. The employee have their share in it, the management has their share in it.
Yeah.
So the days you don't sleep, maybe the pressure of work is also too much. So you really, before you venture into HR, please sit down. Yeah. The Bible says, sit down and count the cost. So sit down, calculate the cost and see whether really you can be able to do it. In the professional field, check your capabilities. Check whether this is really what you'd want to venture into before you just jump into it because there are no jobs and you hear these guys, you know, HRs are seen as the drivers of companies.
Yes.
So think about it first. Yes.
So guys, there you go. You've heard it from Paris herself, a HR in the industry for 20 years, guys. So whatever she's told you, make sure you take it and put it into book, because you can use it later if you're looking to pursue HR as a career. So I hope you learned something, and I hope that whatever you have learned, you will implement it. If your passion is HR, you now know what to do in order to follow through with it till the end. So guys, that is it for today here at Meet the HR. I hope to see you guys next week with a different professional career to follow on. Bye bye.